Midway Island is a sanctuary for more than 2 million birds, and during the month of June, more than 400,000 baby albatross learn to fly. It's not easy learning to fly when you were born on the ground. And for these guys, learning to fly is a matter of survival. A few weeks ago, the parents of these 3-month-old fledglings left the island to spend the next year or two at sea. Albatross eat fish, so these chicks need to follow in the next few weeks or they will die of starvation. We have been living in peace on this island for a very long time, but 1942 was not a very good year for any of us.
Chester W. Nimitz, commander of the Pacific Fleet, using information obtained from broken Japanese secret codes, orders 3 American carriers to Midway. Here, the task force will intercept Yamamoto's battle group of 6 aircraft carriers. On Midway Island, it becomes a waiting game. On June 3, 1942, the waiting ends. The Japanese strike at Midway's airstrip. But unlike Pearl Harbor, radar warnings have been heeded, and most U.S. planes are aloft. Damage is minimal. As the strikes continue on Midway, U.S. carriers secretly launch their attack. They attack, virtually unchallenged by the Japanese fighters. The Japanese carriers are now alone and vulnerable.
The dive bombers came in, and there were no fighters. They just had a clear shot. The carriers' decks were completely loaded with ammunition and bombs, and the dive bombers were able to make runs without any fighter interference at all. And that's how they won the battle.
Midway ends Japan's dream of empire. They will never recover from the loss of 4 carriers and 234 of their best pilots.
This tiny atoll in the middle of the Pacific, where the tide of the Pacific War changed, is an historical landmark and a stunning wildlife refuge. Located about 1,100 miles northwest of Hawaii, this small atoll of 2 islands was discovered by Captain Brooks on July 5, 1859, and claimed as a U.S. possession. The Commercial Pacific Cable Company established a relay station here in 1903, allowing communications between the United States and the Pacific Rim countries. In 1930, American Airways set up a seaplane base for their clipper ship flights to the Orient.
Most all the seabirds we have out here lay only 1 egg at a time. So they put all their efforts into one ship. There's a couple of exceptions, one of them being the brown booby and masked booby. They will lay 2 eggs. One egg will serve as the insurance. In case one egg fails, the other egg will hatch, but they still only raise 1 young.
The accommodations at Midway are in converted officers' quarters, modest but comfortable. It's clear that the birds far outnumber the people outside Charlie Building. Most meals are served in the old mess hall, but there is a newly constructed elegant restaurant down by the beach. Golf carts are available for rent, but the Goonie birds definitely have the right of way. They got that name from Navy personnel stationed here during the war.
Although the parents are gone, a few of us juveniles hang around to help with the training, and occasionally to feed some of the chicks. Officially, we are called Laysan Albatross, one of the smallest of the species at only 7 pounds. We can live to 45 years of age, and we mate for life, returning to the same spot every few years to nest. The hardest part is taking off and landing on the water. I know you never thought about it before, but you kind of have to walk on the water. Only about 75% of these fledglings will make it out this year, some dying on land of heat and exhaustion, and some dying on the water. This guy looks pretty worn out and may not survive. In a few weeks, there will be tens of thousands of us on the water, attracting the attention of large tiger sharks that come in from the ocean for an easy meal. I don't think that this is a very good place to rest.
These Galapagos sharks are only 3 to 6 feet in length and are no threat to the albatross fledglings. They accompanied us on many of the dives, just hanging around to have their picture taken. We had hoped to see tiger sharks on this trip, but it seems that we were a few weeks too early. Timing for the fledgling migration varies each year, and the tiger sharks seem to be more in tune with cosmic signals than the Midway staff, who helped us plan this trip. Green sea turtles are an endangered species, but they are a common sight here in the waters of Midway Atoll. They are curious by nature and came over to check out the divers. These reptiles, whose ancestors lived on land more than 150 million years ago, get their name from the color of their body fat, which is green from the algae they eat. The total population of only 600,000 is limited by aggressive gathering of turtle eggs in some parts of the world. When active, turtles need to come up for air every 15 minutes or so, providing us with topside entertainment as we prepare for our next dive. Dive sites are less than half an hour away, and the local pod of spinner dolphins have come to escort us out through the channel. They number 250 and spend most of the day resting in the lagoon. It's time to get ready for our next dive, a visit to the wreck of a Corsair airplane that sank offshore just prior to the attack on Midway. During the confusion, it collided with another U.S. Navy airplane. That's Amy, who just can't resist a photo opportunity. Underwater, the reefs surrounding the lagoon are rich with fish life. This dive site is called Pit Stop, a favorite gathering place for lemon butterfly fish, sergeant majors, groupers, trumpetfish, and dense schools of convict tangs. At first glance, this looks like a sea snake, but this spotted snake eel is actually a fish, out for a rare daytime outing. Eels spend most of the day holed up in their lairs, coming out at night to forage for small fish and crustaceans. This site is a cleaning station, and sergeant majors gather here to attract the services of a small cleaner wrasse, who removes parasites and small sores from his client. Midway Atoll is surrounded by a rocky reef with little coral, but it supports a rich diversity of marine life.
While you guys were exploring the reef, I was relaxing on the beach watching this Hawaiian monk seal. It's not a very exciting thing to do, but I wanted to show you one of the 60 animals here on Midway. This is an endangered species, but we had 3 pups born here last year, a very promising sign. People are not allowed on the monk seal beaches and have to stay at least 100 feet away when one comes onto a swimming beach.
Red-tailed tropic birds, numbering about 10,000, are easily distinguished by the long, thin red feather protruding under their tails. The chicks don't look much like their mothers, but in about 2 months they will be off on their own, spending most of their life at sea. In 1912, one of the cable company workers brought 12 canaries to the island as pets. Now, more than 300 roam the island, adding to the diversity of bird life. There are over 100,000 white and sooty terns on the atoll. They also lay only 1 egg, but don't seem to be very particular about choosing a location. The frigate bird has a split tail, which helps it to maneuver quickly during flight. These pirates of the sky chase after boobies and other competent fishermen, robbing them of their catch through harassment and intimidation.
Thanks for joining us on this brief tour of one of the world's largest bird sanctuaries. The close and gentle interaction between people and birds is fairly unique here at Midway Atoll, hopefully leading to a better appreciation of both species.